Hi again, Lacey Reichwald, Board President of the Whitewater Grocery Co, here to talk to you today about milestone number 2 of stage 2B planning in our timeline. So if you remember, stage 2B planning's first milestone was we need to reach 780 owners, which is 60% of our owner goal. And I touched on one of the reasons why was for our capital campaign. So milestone number 2 is that we need to plan that capital campaign. And here is what is involved in that. So we have a finance and legal committee that is working on this. These are all volunteers who are working on figuring out how much money is it going to take to build our store. How are we going to raise that money? So that means, like, where is the money going to come from? And then, okay, how are we actually going to raise it? So once we figure out how we're going to raise that money, how do we plan that out? How do we get the volunteers, the resources, the materials that we need to actually raise that money and plan it out in a project management plan? Going back to how we're going to raise that money, here are a couple of things that we are working on right now. So we are exploring these as possible solutions. Number 1 is those ownership fees. So if you are an owner or if you have explored becoming an owner, you know that it costs $150. It's a one-time purchase, or there's monthly installment plans, but the total to become an owner is $150. And that all adds up. At 667 owners times $150, that's quite a bit of money that's in our bank account that we are using right now as operating expenses for the startup of this business. A lot of that money is also going to go into the building of the store. Right now, everything is being run by volunteers and no salaries are being paid, so that money is being used solely for business operations and building the business. The other things that we will be looking at for financing the store are owner loans, which I talked about a little bit in the last video. Food co-ops around the country have found that about 20% of their owners are able to lend, on average, $5,000 to the co-op to be paid back with interest later, and then that money goes directly into building the store. There are also bank loans, which are available to a lot of co-ops. However, we are seeing more and more co-ops open without bank loans, which means that their owners are being more generous and their communities are being more generous in getting those co-ops opened. There's also grants. We've been lucky to receive a few grants already and we'll be applying for more. And contributions from local government, state government, or even potentially from landlords and property owners in the future. And then there are donations from the community, from businesses. We're working with the Whitewater Community Foundation right now to be able to get those donations tax deductible for any of you who would like to give. And then last but not least, we may need to get creative. If you have some ideas about how Whitewater Grocery Co. can raise the money that we need to build the store that we all can shop at, please feel free to reach out to our Finance and Legal Committee. You can drop us a line on Facebook, send us a message at contact@whitewatergrocery.co, and we will get you in touch with the right person. If this is something that just really excites you, figuring out how to finance a project, please join us because we would love to have you. Thanks, and we'll see you next time for the last installment, which is site selection.